Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Short Answer. I'm Dr. Sue Morter, and it is a joy to be with you always with The Short Answer. Morter Institute for Bioenergetics is founded on the idea, the knowing, the knowledge that everything is energy, including you. And we are always here enhancing your ability to not only master the energy flow through your system, but ultimately for you to awaken to the fact that you are that energy that is flowing as a system. You are not separate from the energy that is moving through your body. And that's a fundamental principle inside of the energy codes. If you've not been in the energy codes coursework, please find yourself in the Energy Codes coursework, because it will teach you all about quantum science, but not from an intellectualized standpoint, but rather from an experiential standpoint where you have the opportunity to realize that you are the universe packed into a funnel, into a channel, descending into the physical dimension and rising and constantly recycling and recycling. And you can never be separate from creative energy and healing energy because it's what you're made of. So if you've not yet been exposed to that work, please join us. And if you are interested in joining into the train of coursework that's happening, you can watch a recording of the level 1 of the coursework, and you can catch us live for level 2, which will be starting on September 7th. We have 8 modules of level 2 of the energy codes beginning September 7th, and you can start along with us live with that if you are so interested. So you might want to inquire about watching the abbreviated version or recorded version of level 1 so that you can get the language down, get the technology down, so that you can jump on board with us and catch the wave of the energy codes as it rolls through town this year. Okay. I also want to give you a couple of other announcements. There's a healing transmission coming up on the 25th. There is, that's a global healing transmission where people from all over the world are gathering together, and we're leveraging each other's glowing presence in such a way that we are able to tap the healer within and allow it to emanate. Such is the topic of our short answer this evening, but you want to show up and receive on this day of the healing transmission on the 25th. All right? The Body Awake Yoga membership, I want to remind you of that. We have live classes on the first and third Thursdays of each month. You have access to all of the archives of classes that we've been teaching since before the pandemic. Lots and lots of classes that are there to teach you how to anchor the consciousness in the core of the body and allow that to be who it is that's walking around inside that body of yours, inside that life of yours. So then again, another healing transmission, September 29th. So it's August 25th and September 29th coming your way, another healing transmission and a yoga intensive where I'm teaching you for 5 days in a row in October how to do the asanas and what parts of the brain and the nervous system and the electromagnetic energy system are being activated with each of the asanas in the sacred geometries that we are putting you in one position at a time. So I absolutely love sharing that content with everyone. Lastly, Kashi Retreat, where I am taking you through all of the Hindu gods and goddesses and having an understanding of not only what they were, who they were, what was happening there, but literally inside the human physiology, what they each represent. The significance there is that you get to be masterful of the energy being that you are, as was translated thousands of years ago for us in ancient Greece and ancient India, and we're always tying it together and bringing it forward. And so Kashi is all about laying that over onto the human physiology so that you understand that your immune system is accounted for inside of the very deities, meaning the high brain centers above the primitive brain. That is where the deities of Hinduism exist. It is simply your high executive centers, but brought forth in a deeply spiritual and life-enhancing manner. You get to walk in the shoes, or in the sandals, I guess, on the path of ancient consciousness as it has been evolving and been protected over the millennia. So I love to share the content with you and so enjoy allowing our community to become deeply educated about the truth of who we are and the power that we possess to heal and to be creative and to manifest the lives that we so choose and that we desire. It is all here for you to build circuits on so that you can sustain that, right? So the short answer is all about the same thing. We try to just drop in an idea that allows you to catch something, walk with it each day, and may it be memorable for you. And today's topic for the short answer is to glow. It's to emanate. It's to allow something to rise up and out of you that's trying to rise up and out of you all the time. Always has been. And if the mind is overworking, or you are over doubting, or you are continually thinking and worrying and trying to over manage your life, then you're putting a squeeze on that which is trying to glow and emanate up and out of you. As I teach you technology of how to do this inside of the Energy Codes coursework, I can't do all of that inside of a short answer, but I can tell you that the more resonant and relaxed you are on the inside, and the more anchored in the body at the same time that you allow this emanation and this radiation and this transmission of energies to occur. When you allow that to come up and out of you automatically in all of the ways that I share with you inside of the Energy Codes work, you are allowing the body to operate as a filtering device. At the same time, you're allowing the whole universe to be what it is that's being filtered and what it is that's being stepped down for understandable ideas and images and inspirations. Let me explain. When we descend into this physical dimension, we are compressing the unified field of consciousness. We're compressing and compressing. We're gathering and concentrating. We're concentrating with the mind field, the energies that we are. And in that concentration capacity, we are literally bringing ourselves into a funnel, into a channel, and embodying. We're coming all the way to the physical end of the spectrum of energy, from pure light to physical matter. And inside that compression, we are generating a presence where we become self-aware. The energy folds over upon itself so much, folding in like an accordion to the degree that you can feel a sense of self, a sense of who I am. And we birth ourselves into this dimension that way. And as we do, we emerge into this life. We're born physically through the birth process, and we're here in the physical life, and our faculties have gone through a tremendous compression, and then here we are. We kind of spurt out and kind of splat. And in that splat, our faculties go in all sorts of directions. The mind, the body, the breath, all dispersed. We spend our lives trying to learn how to gather ourselves back again, and we do so, ultimately. We gather it back again, but my intention for humanity is for us to gather that back again sooner rather than later, so that we're not spending our whole lives trying to figure out how to do that. So that is what I'm teaching you inside the Energy Codes, is exactly how to pull those faculties together so that you're working from a state of wholeness and unison, and you're not stuck in the identity of the personality. You're not stuck at the level of the mind. You're allowing the mind to serve the soul. And so in this, we're gathering ourselves back. Now inside the codes, I teach you how to anchor in the body. Inside the Energy Codes book, I teach you how to anchor in the body. Please engage in one or the other or all of those things so that you know how to anchor yourself in the body and breathe in your belly. When you are anchoring in the body through those 4 anchor points and breathing in the belly, now you have the ability to truly emanate and radiate up and out from the true landing pad, the center of the target where you've zeroed in and focused in and anchored your consciousness in a very potent manner. Inside of that potency, you have the ability to pierce the veils. You have an opportunity to transmute old habits and beliefs. You have an ability, a capacity to transform a limited way of living into an unlimited way of living authentically without having to effort to do so, simply by glowing, simply by allowing an emanation. Now, someone who's trapped in the protective personality is living out here in the superficial layers of life instead of all the way in here at the core central channel. And if we're already living out here and we open, but we're not very stable on the inside. So what I'm inviting you to do is to gather at these anchor points and anchor yourself in the deep core central channel of who you are and open from there. Because when you open from there, there's an emanation and a glowing that occurs, but it's glowing from the level of the soul. It's not glowing only from the level of the personality. Now, we all know people who are super nice and super fun, and they're always saying, yes, I was going to say the same thing, or, oh, I totally agree, and yes, I'm all about that. And there's a level of inauthenticity in that you can see right through in an instant. And it's painful, whether you're realizing it or not. It's an insult to the soul. And we also know people who drop inside, and they are willing to say, I never thought of that. Or they're willing to say, I have no idea what I'm going to do next. But I know that it's going to be good and it's going to be right for me because I know where I'm going to make that decision from when the moment is upon me. I'm not worrying about the future and I'm not thinking about the past all the time. I'm here. But I'm not just floating around here. I'm anchored here and I'm landed. And because I'm tapped in at this deep focused place, I have the ability to glow and emanate as the soulful self. And when we're glowing and emanating as the soulful self, we are literally out in the atmosphere around us, transforming and transmuting those frequencies into alpha frequency that is tapped with beta frequency, that is enhanced by super consciousness gamma frequencies that are there steering our life from the highest self perspective. Now, this is what you're intended to be able to do. So way out before where you're walking, you're sending out, not by an effort, but simply by a glowing, an energy frequency that is causing your world to align to what will serve you before you even get there. So that when you arrive at the scene of any situation, the situation is already attuned to you. Now, we all have days where it seems like everything is just going haywire. Things are being knocked off course. Things seem to be falling and fumbling and bumbling, and nothing seems to be going right. You look around and you see that should have happened, that could have happened, this didn't, that whole thing is happening because of an upgrade. It isn't a problem, it's a solution. All of these things are stumbling apart because your energy field is coming in a purifying, organizing fashion. If you're doing the work of the energy codes, if you're allowing this universal presence to concentrate itself, anchor itself, be cycling and cycling and cycling in such a fashion that it's glowing and emanating, and it will reconfigure everything around you. It will bring stability where there's a wobble, where there's a rickety old shambles of a structure that's barely hanging in there, like scaffolding that's, kind of top heavy. It's just going to knock it on over because it's just not going to serve. It just doesn't work. Our way of operating isn't working. Our way of surrounding ourselves with others who are in a wobble is just not enough. So the world seems like it's falling apart, but it's reconfiguring for you. So glow, unwaveringly glow. Allow yourself to be free and to emanate. How do you do that? Number one, when things look like there's a shambles around you or there's tension upon you, don't contract on the inside. Get up, move around, start walking if that's what it takes. If you can't get up and move around and start walking, start central channel breathing, reminding yourself to open on the inside. Because the more you contract on the inside, the more this shambles is going to fall anyway, but the longer it takes for you to rebuild or for you to create the environment where things can just rise up and be in place seemingly miraculously for you. It will happen if you remain open on the inside. Open the muscles, open the channel, lean back against your own spine, breathe in your belly, allow a sensation of inflating from the inside out to be who and what you are. Stay grounded in chakra 10 beneath where you're standing or sitting, 2 feet into the earth. Always maintain an awareness there. When you do, there's a glowing that happens overhead. It's called chakra 9. When we allow a connection between these two, as we walk down the sidewalk, we walk down the road, what happens is an emanation, a glowing occurs. Always breathe in your belly and allow the quality of what is glowing to be of a grounded alpha frequency. Meanwhile, you're dropping in all this high frequency energy into the mix constantly, but you're constantly grounding it, and you're constantly emanating and glowing. Glow. Because when you allow yourself to glow, you don't have to push the river to make things happen. You just allow your clarity, your presence, your innocence, your vulnerability, your authenticity is all it takes. Do not think for a moment that you need to show up in a perfectionistic sort of way. You don't have to be better than. You don't have to be less than. You don't even have to be comparing. In fact, I invite you not to. Just be present inside. Because when you bring your conscious presence to the inner core of your being, you glow automatically. And that is your birthright. When you glow and you emanate, I'm not talking about this lovely, beautiful glow, although that is a byproduct of it also. I am speaking about an emanation of your presence here, an emanation of animated cosmic consciousness. Allow it to be what is. When you do so, your life becomes a reflection of that. You generate the movie as you walk down the path. So glow, my friends, all right? I'd like to share more about this and the how-tos regarding that in the masterclass coming up next. So click on the link in the chat and in the communication system there inside of where we are right now, and allow yourselves to plug into the masterclass and join us for the gold membership so that you can dive deeper into the answers that life is begging us to animate and to celebrate. So hopefully this has been helpful for you, and I look forward to connecting with you in just a few moments in the masterclass. Blessings for now. Namaste.